They said it wouldn't happen. They said we wouldn't be back. 2 shows in a single night. Had the post-game show with Tim. We're back already. We're back like we never left. How are we doing? How are we doing? It's your boy Mike Singer. It's 11:17 p.m. Eastern Time. Few hours after Notre Dame dismantled Purdue. Dismantled. And we're back. We're back. So here's what we're going to do. We're taking calls. We're going to keep taking calls and do this until I get sick of it or I realize that I have better things to do. Because I ain't getting, this is just extra work for me. But I do have fun with this. But it ain't like I'm making more money doing this show, you know what I'm saying? But we have fun with it. And that's what we're about. So here's what we're doing. Call into the Collins Show. It is still kind of a budget situation here. This is a call-in show on Wish or Temu. So what we're going to be starting to do here is when you call in, what I was doing, crap, keep hitting the wrong thing. What I was doing was having you guys wait in the lobby and you were hearing that horrible elevator music. What I'm going to start doing is answering the call and then muting you until I'm ready to talk to you. Again, this is a very budget situation here, but it's all I got right now. I don't have all I want yet. But in the meantime, when you call into the number on the screen right here, and then you type in the access code, make sure you put the pound or the hashtag if you're a youngin'. I will answer. I'll put you on mute so you can listen, so you don't have to listen to because I know some people just have one device, right? You have one device and you call in and you're listening to elevator music for 45 minutes. Now you can listen to me on the phone. Andrew Gilmore, you're in the chat, right? Andrew, can you tell me if you hear me fine on your phone right now? Let me know, buddy. So call into the show. And let's do this thing. Okay, good, Andrew. So when you guys call, I'm going to answer and put you on mute so you don't have to listen to the elevator music. But yeah, Notre Dame 66, Purdue 7. Who thought that Notre Dame was going to beat Purdue 66-7? If you raised your hand, you're a liar. No one saw that coming. No one. Spread went down to 7.5. That's crazy. I'm 2-1 against the spread with my picks this year for Notre Dame. I picked Notre Dame to beat A&M. Obviously, we're all wrong with the NIU game, but I said 28-16. What an idiot I am. All right, we're going to 972 here. 972. Let me know where you're from, what's your name, what you want to talk about. 972.
First of all, Mike, you said you were going to say my name and number, and you didn't, and I'm very hurt by that.
What do you mean?
Well, last time when I called, it was the first caller on the show of all time. You're like, Lotus, I'm going to save your name, so you're taken care of. And here we are.
All right, well, apparently
3 days later, and you have completely forgotten. It's hurtful, it really is.
Well, Andrew's name saved, which Andrew's up next, but yours did not, Lotus, but I just did it right now. So, Well, what's up, buddy? How are you doing?
No, fine. Well, I'm watching Georgia pull one out here at the last second. And I was calling to talk about our new 1960s offense called the Wing T. I don't know if you've heard of it before.
Oh, bro. Did you watch my post-game show, Lotus?
I watched some of it. I was supposed to be in a meeting that I was obviously not doing.
You can say no, Lotus. It's okay. I won't be offended.
I caught part of it. I caught when you had Mark on. Okay, I caught that part, and I was like, there's Mark being depressed.
Mark was nervous. Mark was nervous.
With respect, Mark, I understand.
I'm sorry, real quick, Lotus. The reason I asked that, because I'm curious if you know what my thoughts are about the longevity of this offense. But go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, I heard Mark say it was kind of a gimmick offense, and I was like, man, Mark, you're right, because we're running the split wing T from 1964.
It's not a gimmick
and
offense.
It's
you can
not
only
run the ball so long.
Okay, but a gimmick offense is the wildcat.
Are we going to have to put Eli as the H-back and run the triple option?
Gimmick offense is something that is like. Let me Google the word gimmick.
Are you talking about how you were saying they were working on the short passes? Are you talking about that part? Because I heard that.
A gimmick is a trick or device intended to attract attention, publicity, or business. Running the football ain't no gimmick.
It is, and you run it like with your first 7 touchdowns of the year, all running.
All right, I digress. Go ahead, Lotus.
No, I just thought it was a good game. I was happy that we won. I'm making my way up to there South End twice this year for a game, and it's good to see we can actually score instead of not. But that's all I got really. I just wanted to call in since I have a hurry of being in a habit of being in the first caller now.
Well, Lotus, I like it, man. I like it.
By the way, when are you coming down to Texas for a recruiting trip, man?
Where are you at in Texas?
Dallas area.
Okay, just like 90% of the state. By the way, how about Toledo beating Mississippi State 41-17? Damn.
Yeah, and Mississippi State crapped the bed last week against Arizona State, and Arizona State's terrible.
Jeez.
I mean, they're no USF. They're that horrible school down there. Terrible people who go there.
Yeah, I got my horns up right now, and I might be switching it to a middle finger here in a second. But hey, in all seriousness, Dallas, I love Dallas. I always have great trips to Texas, man. But not anytime
without
soon.
getting too much information, I live near a certain something Smith. If you catch that drift.
Something Smith.
In the last name Smith, I live near that area.
I go. I was going about once a year, but Georgia survives a scare, 13-12. Woof.
Yeah, it was rough.
But yeah, it'll probably be a while. I mean, I might. Yeah, it's gonna be a minute, man. With the baby coming in October, not much time for travel here in a little bit. So.
By the way, who's the guy who keeps calling us bougie? I love that guy. You should have him on more often.
Bougie?
Yeah, the guy who calls in from Los Angeles. The caller you had in for the last show, and he was like, "We're bougie. We're Notre Dame, and they're not." That guy.
I'm sure he'll call in. I'm sure he will. I tweeted it out, so I'm sure he'll find it. His name's escaping me, but Luis.
That guy's awesome.
He is awesome.
Have him on more often. He's way more exciting than me. That's all I got.
All right, Lotus. Later, bro.
Later.
What do you mean you can't get through to the number? It's there. You call it and you put in the access code in the pound. Tom, if you got a burning question, Tom, look at you, man. Look at the suit or the suit jacket, the tie, the khakis. Come on. You look like a smart guy. You can do it. I believe in you, Tom. All right, let's go to Andrew Gilmore. Long time listener. And you're on the board, right? You're on the board. Andrew Gilmore?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. My man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I just want you to know I consume all ND media, and Mike, you're my favorite, man. You're great.
Why is that?
Really
why is that?
What work you do.
Come on. Hype me up. Hype me up.
I think you're not a homer, man. That I'm like a unbiased Notre Dame fan, and I hate homerism. Like I just tell it to me straight, and I really think you do, dude. That's why I like you. So
Well, I like you too, Andrew, and I hope I've never popped off on you for any of your comments. I'm sure I have if you've been on the board in my shows that long, because I tend to yell at people. So I'm glad that you're still here.
Absolutely, man. Hey, I just wanted so I thought Riley Leonard was such a unique talent, and what worried me the first 2 weeks was that it seemed like they were putting him in a conventional offense, and he's not a conventional quarterback. And so I think they finally adapted the offense to him this week. And so my question to you is like, what do you think of, like, because you've seen a lot of players over your years of covering recruiting, like what is a comparable player that you would compare Riley Leonard to? Like I almost think of like a Taysom Hill, the Saints backup quarterback. But who would you compare him to? And then do you think, my second question is, can he beat a team that can score, like a team like Louisville or USC playing the way he does? So that would be my question to you guys.
Taysom Hill, I see a lot. What about like a poor man's Tim Tebow? A poor man's injured Tebow? Something like that. Right? It's like throwing the ball, you're going to make some plays, but it's not going to look pretty. He's going to run.
Remember Jake Locker? He played for
Washington. Yeah, and the Titans. Yep.
Yeah. I feel like he's kind of like that, but Walker's probably a better thrower than him. But it's just he's a very unique quarterback. So
yeah, but this unique we're talking about is not like a good thing. It's not.
I know.
I don't think it's a positive here.
But he is an awesome runner. Though it's like crazy how good of a runner he is, but he just cannot throw it. Yeah.
Bro, like him running the football so dynamic. But it's a weird thing because you want that running quarterback, but I don't want Notre Dame to have to rely on his legs to win these games.
No.
Because if they kept running him against NIU, they win that football game. But whether it was the shoulder or in like stupidity, whatever the case was against NIU, they stopped and they lost. So they have to run him to win football games with him as quarterback. And with his injury history, I'm nervous.
And I was in your chat before you guys had started, and I was like, I think Leonard is better than Angeli in terms of just overall talent, but I bet you Angeli would have won the NIU game because like he would have just done check down passes or whatever passes to the tight end, and they would have scored enough points. But like Leonard is so hit or miss. Like he'll like have a great game like today, and then other games he'll just completely shut him down. That's why I was asking Tim about potentially using two quarterbacks, because like I just don't think it's sustainable the whole year. But he is dynamic. Like I'm not crapping on Leonard. I think he is really dynamic. So yeah.
And then the question: did you say like how far can this go?
Yeah, can he be, like, because like I can't think that you can hold Louisville to 14 points, and I gotta think, like, no offense to Purdue, but I think they're pretty terrible. So like, can you actually beat a team like Louisville or USC? These are top 30 offenses with Riley Leonard's production or not, or like, what are your thoughts? I mean, do you think would you put us as favorites in either one of those games, or would you say, hey, no, they're probably going to have to really work on things before?
Yeah, I want to see how they play against Miami of Ohio. That's not a bad team. Like they won the MAC last year. They lost to Cincinnati by like 10 points today. Like I don't know how good Cincinnati, but still. The way Notre Dame played against NIU, any team's beatable. So let's see how they play back at home against a Okay, that's not what I meant to say. They're not a crappy team, but play against a crappy conference, right? The MAC, like it's not a power conference. It's the MAC. Let's see how they do. But let me say this.
Yeah,
my colleagues Jack Sobel and Tyler Horka, they do a tremendous job. They did a Matt Lotus, what's up, guys? Lotus. B82, thank you for the super chat. We'll talk about that in a second. They did like a game by game. They watched every single one of Riley Leonard's starts, and they did a breakdown of it with like videos that went along with and all that good stuff. And watching and editing Jack's their video that you can find on our YouTube channel of them, on the field at Ross-Ade Stadium talking about the game. Jack said, "This is what we expect with Riley Leonard. Like what we've seen is about Riley Leonard." And I did not watch much Riley Leonard. I watched a highlight tape and that was it.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not gonna watch, game film of Riley Leonard. It's just not my thing. That's why we employ Tim Hyde. But a long thing to say, Andrew, if this is what they were like, if Notre Dame knew this was it, then what the hell? If Notre Dame is sitting back and being like, yeah, it's about what we expected, then what the hell? Right? Riley, I love him as a runner. I might get flamed for this. I actually kind of like him in the pocket sometimes.
Yeah.
When he stands in there, like early in that first drive in the NIU game, guys, he's like, boom, 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 like his reads, quick, quick, quick. I'm like, shit. I don't know why he gets away from that sometimes. He gets the Ian Book happy feet. But anyways, to go back to my point, if Notre Dame is sitting here being like, yeah, it's about what we expected, then there's a problem. There's a problem.
It's funny is I did go back. Dude, Jack Sobel pegged him exactly right. Like in his analysis, he's pretty good football mind. And then I guess my last question to you is like, do you think Notre Dame or do you think Freeman saw that same analysis as Sobel, like that basically he's not the greatest passer in the world. He's not going to throw it 20 yards down the field. He's more of a running quarterback. Like it's just kind of odd, like that you would have bet on him for. I'm not even knocking him really. I really actually like Leonard, but just interesting that Freeman would have thought. I mean, they almost. I mean, I know you're not allowed to say this, but it sounded like they had been communicating with him since. As soon as the season ended, he was their guy. So it's like they really had their eye on him for a long time, and you just wonder, did he realize how limited Riley Leonard was with passing, and if he was cool with that or not? So yeah, so it's kind of interesting stuff. So
Andrew, appreciate you, man. You can call in anytime.
All right, hey, see you, man. Have a good one.
Does anyone else have a hell of a time? Jake, what is happening when you try to call in? Let me know what happens. I know Thomas, the very handsome Thomas Frawley, so that he had an issue, and he's in here now. Shout out to you, the original Xbox 360, brother. This is actually the Xbox Series line. See the three little buttons, Xbox Series. This is the controller I actually use. But you know why? The back buttons. See these back buttons? Back buttons are awesome. No back buttons. All right, we're gonna go to Frawley here. What's going on?
Well, good evening.
Good evening, you handsome man. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I was having no problems actually dialing the number. I understood the directions. It's just that the circuit must have been busy and it wasn't.
So is that
number.
Is that what it said there, or did it just hang up on you, or what?
It just wasn't. Once I hit the pound sign at the end of putting in the code, it just kept repeating it. It kept going over and over.
What a pain in the ass.
No, that's all right. It finally got through. So I'm glad.
Where are you calling from?
Hey, Chicago.
Okay, love that.
Yeah. Yes. So burning question is the punter, right? So quick story. When I was a kid, I'll be 60 in December, right? But when I was a kid, Ford Motor Company used to have a thing called the National Ford Punt, Pass, and Kick. I won the Chicagoland area at 12-year-old and I was a finalist for the nation in 14-year-old. I know a little bit about punting and place.
Do you have eligibility?
Right? I wish I did, brother. But, you know, and I kicked all through grammar school and high school and my first 2 years of junior college ball, right? And until I got hurt. So there is here's what I would do with Riley Leonard. That kid is a phenomenal athlete.
All right, we just went from punter to Riley Leonard real quick, Tom.
Well, wait a second. Hold on. I got a point. So that kid is a tremendous basketball player. He's a great athlete. I could teach that kid. Any special teams coach on the college level, I could spend a couple hours a day or an hour a day with him, and he'll be a better punter than this Australian kid any day of the week. I'll guarantee it, especially with his athletic ability and his size. He puts that 6'4" leg into it. He'll average over 36 yards a punt. I don't understand how they don't see that, Mike. It's just it's maddening to be at that level. And there's got to be athletes on that team that could do it. I'm telling you, guys that there's guys that played quarterback in high school. They also kicked. They punted. If they don't search that kid, I guess the backup is nowhere near as good as this guy, and he's nearly 30 years old. I guess. What are they doing?
I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. When Notre Dame punts, I go grab a snack, go take a leak, grab some water. I don't think I've paid attention to more than 2 of James Rendell's punts this season.
Here's why I'm so concerned, because at one of these games he's going to need to flip the field when the offense isn't moving. I mean, it certainly could have been. It could have helped out last week if they had some kind of. It just speaks to there's something that's amiss down there. And then last week when I found out, I'll tell you what. Hats off to Tyler Horka and Sobel. They did a great job.
They always do.
This week reporting. They're fantastic. But the intelligence that I found out that they let these guys did the walkthrough last week, Thursday. I hate to belabor it, but last Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday or Friday afternoon, Riley Leonard's got his NIL money. He's taking the guys out shopping at Dick's. I mean, that's great and everything, but save that for a Sunday afternoon. What are you doing the day before a game? That's coaching. So that tells me that player coach bullshit, pardon my language, is he's got to tighten it up. He's still learning on the job, Mike. I don't know what your intelligence is telling you down there, but just from my eyes, that's, and then they circle the wagons, and then the offensive coordinator, Mike Denbrock, all of a sudden, he's running motion, tight ends in motion, those jet sweeps, all those different wrinkles they put in, and the blocking schemes. Even when the 2 linemen went down, our backups had enough experience to come in, and they didn't miss a beat. So there's good and there's bad. I just wish Freeman would figure out what he wants to do. He's got to be the head coach. He can't be their best friends. You know what I mean?
Know what you mean. Tom, appreciate the call, my friend. It's good hearing from you.
Take care. All right. We'll see you. Thanks.
That was a whirlwind. I like it. I like it, Tom. I will say this. My 2 brothers-in-law, they are now of age where they're playing high school football, and they play on the JV team. They're not very good. They're not very good. One of them I told, learn how to kick. Be a kicker. He told me, well, the starting kicker's in my grade. I don't care. Just kick. No chance you're going to kick. And the other one, I told him, be a specialist. Don't try to play linebacker. This is not going to be your spot. I didn't say that to him. I hope this never finds him. Long snap, hold, punt, kick. Learn all of it. Learn all of it. If I have a son, my first is a girl. Going to be due here in soon. You guys are going to be hearing from Kyle Kelly on the postgame show instead of me. Kyle does a great job. You'll love him. I'm hoping for a boy number 2, if we're blessed to have a number 2. And that's going to be his journey. A specialist. Okay, we're going to go to 801. Tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Hey, Mike. My name's Eric, calling from Utah.
Eric from Utah. How goes it, brother?
Oh, it goes a lot better today than a week ago. I'll
Feel
say
that.
Much. Congrats on a girl.
Thank you.
As a girl dad, enjoy it. It's the best. And you just made that comment. If you're fortunate enough to have a second kid, we've kind of been in that boat where we've had a couple miscarriages. So enjoy the one when you have the one. So, because it can be a journey. So, just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Eric.
I've noticed a little bit in the game there, playing Jaden Thomas and Bo Collins together.
Eric, me and you, bro. Me and you, I mean, we're like this. I was thinking the same thing.
So,
2 boundary guys, right? They're versatile. They could play together. Go ahead.
So did they go Collins and Thomas because we were going 2 tight ends? And so, all right, you've talked about Jaden Thomas being a great blocker.
Bo's a good blocker too.
So yeah, I mean, on that Riley touchdown, he had that guy out of bounds. So is that why you probably went back with those 2 good run blockers, because the plan was to run the ball?
They're both versatile. They can play slot. They can play anywhere. They're experienced guys. Faison's out. I don't know if Greathouse played tonight, but he didn't get many targets. He had the 1 target, and then it got called back for a holding. Like, is he in the doghouse? Chris Mitchell. I don't have the snap counts yet. We'll have them tomorrow. We'll post about it at blueandgold.com. Chris Mitchell's MIA. He played, but not much. So, Bo Collins, Jaden Thomas, KK Smith. It's your time.
Yeah, I mean, see, now if you go spread, right, I wondered, why don't you go Bo Collins, Thomas, Greathouse, and Faison? Both, like, Faison played amazing in the slot last year. Greathouse, great in the slot also. So why can't that be your starting 4? Why can't you have Thomas and Collins on the field at all times?
Thomas and Collins on the field at all times. Yeah, you might. I mean,
I think that was pretty effective. Thomas, I think Jaden Thomas gives you, the height, and he's a strong guy that can, fight for the ball. Obviously, 2 years ago, right? He was up there for wide receiver, and then last year injuries. So that's a guy that I expect to be able to contribute. And so kind of seeing him behind Collins is kind of a waste of him, really.
I like Collins. I mean, again, both of these guys are versatile, but I like Collins more on the outside. To me, he's your best outside option. He just is. I know he's not the fastest guy, but the fastest guy is Chris Mitchell, and he's not getting the job done clearly, right, in practice and whatnot. Does not have the coach's trust. But Bo Collins can make things happen. I kind of like Jaden Thomas. I like him in the slot at times. I don't know if I'm doing another reverse with him. That was kind of wild to me. But, he's very reliable to me, and he's an excellent blocker. So if you're not feeling Jaden Greathouse, Jaden Thomas can kind of do the same. He's the same slot receiver to me. So I like Jaden Thomas out of the slot. But, yeah, if you're going 10 personnel, Collins, Greathouse, Faison, Thomas, it's a good group. Yeah,
I think that would do wonders, but obviously we need Riley to get them the ball past the line
Whoa.
of scrimmage. And
Past the line of scrimmage.
know.
I mean, that's a Eric.
Not the line of scrimmage. Sorry. I meant
Well,
sound markers.
that's going to be asking for a lot, Eric, to get it past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. I mean, it's been frustrating, but you know what? We, got a lot of shit. Sorry. Got a lot
Sorry
of
for
crap
cussing.
from my friends, got a lot of crap from my friends for that NIU loss. So
Get it.
this is a good one, but NIU loss is still going to be there forever. So, but Mike, appreciate you. I've been listening to your stuff nonstop this week. Addicted to this stuff right now, and I've been a Notre Dame fan since I was probably not as probably 13 years old, 34 years old now. So rough years, but we'll get there one day.
No doubt. Keep fighting the good fight out there in Utah, Eric.
Appreciate you, Mike. Have a good one.
All right, you too, man. All right. Good call there. I'm trying to go in order of people that called. Oh, man. Yeah, but Telho's injury did not look good, man. When it's non-contact, no bueno. No bueno. All right, let's go over to 443. Why don't you tell us your name, where you're calling from? You're on the line. Or are you?
Hey, can you hear me?
There he is. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Adam from Los Angeles, California.
Okay, like it. What's going on, Adam? What's on your mind?
A couple of things I noticed from the game. Riley Leonard is probably not our starter. I think he probably exists in a lot of sub packages as a RPO kind of option. Really like Minchie, really like Angeli. Peanut butter and jelly time.
So you think Leonard is not our starter?
I think he's got a lot of heart, but I don't see that guy passing the ball more than 10 yards.
So are you saying you wouldn't start him, or are you saying that you think Notre Dame's going to bench him?
I think he belongs in a package where he's not the starter, but he belongs in the package as an RPO option, and kind of I feel like the proper mix is having him in options where you least expect him. You need 5 yards to run to the outside. But there's so many times in the last few games where there's so many options down the field. He just doesn't see those guys down there. And
Yeah.
I think when we play some really good teams that shut us down and shut our rushes down, we're going to pay for that big time.
Yeah, that Louisville game, man. And even Miami, Ohio, like if they have good coaches, man, and they see what Notre Dame did against Purdue, like it if you have players that are good enough, right? If you can match Notre Dame at least a little bit athletically, and you got dudes up front who are physical, like if you just do we're gonna play cover 1, cover 0, beat us in that, and you can be physical, you can win some matchups, you can stop this Notre Dame offense for sure. But
look at what was his passing stats? They gave way too much credit to the touch passes. Counting that as a completion.
yeah, how many times does he do that?
Crazy. That's crazy. I mean, you shut down kind of the outside of Notre Dame right now, and not sure how many times we ran it up the middle.
So it's like
on the outside.
It's like that misdirection stuff, like the quick game, your little, the tight end in motion, like some of that cute stuff in the short passing game. Yeah, if you can, I don't know, like how much Denbrock can scheme there to make it work. I don't know.
You need the passer at quarterback. That's everybody's trying to beat that dead horse, but on the positive though, man, I gotta say, who surprised me today?
Yeah.
And I watched a couple plays. I was like, oh my god, this dude is flying around the field right now. Kennedy Urlacher.
Oh my goodness. Did he look great? He looked incredible.
Making plays, man. He's like out of the frame, and then like a second later, he's in there popping the ball out. I mean, who is this kid? I mean, one time he hit the wrong guy. All right, a little friendly fire, and we do that in Fortnite sometimes, you know. But Kennedy, he's got some potential, man.
He does. I was about to pull up the video.
That dog in him, man.
Sorry for folks watching on YouTube. I'm about to pull up some of the Urlacher clips here.
CBS even put together like a little 10.
That's what we're watching.
Oh.
I did an article on August 26th. It was like, here's what I'm hearing post fall camp headed into.
Too, man. That gives me hope, you know.
And Urlacher was one of the guys in that article that I was hearing like he's gonna be the surprise of the class. Like, keep an eye on Kennedy Urlacher, the lowest ranked guy of the class. Oh well, if his last name wasn't Urlacher, would we have taken him? I don't know. Maybe not. But the dude's a baller. Tape
doesn't lie, man. Tape does not lie.
Film do not lie, brother. Anything else on your mind, Adam?
That's it, man. Good game. I'm just a little worried at quarterback.
I am too. But you got an incredible number 2.
That's right. All right, man. I appreciate everything you do, and I love these call-ins, man.
Yeah.
Take care.
All right, Adam. Later, bro. Well, I really don't remember who was in who called first between our next two, but we're gonna go to 815. Tell us your name. Tell us where you're calling from.
Yo, it's Jake. I'm from Northwest Illinois.
Okay.
How you doing, baby?
Let's go. Oh, baby. Hello, Jake. Just met you. You're already calling me baby?
I'm riding high. Tonight. You know,
confident, Jake. I like it. So you're hyped.
Listen, I get it. We got upset by Northern Illinois. Let's move on. It's over. That's over. You know, let's move on. Let's go win a championship.
Big dog. Big dog. A championship? Wait, where'd he go? We lost him. He hung up. Jake was hyped. 410, we're going to get to you in a second. I'm going to wait. I'm going to give Jake a second here, see if he calls back. I need this Jake positivity here. I need it. And then we're going to wait another second for Jake. And then we're going to 410. Tom, good night, bro. And then we got an open queue. So there you guys go. All right. Jake's phone died, I'm guessing. 410, you're on the line. Who are you? Where are you calling from?
Is this Mike Singer?
This is Mike Singer.
This is Skip from Maryland.
Skip from Maryland. All right, what's going on, Skip?
Skip from Maryland. I've been watching you since like 4 years ago, right? That's when this whole thing started, right? With you doing this show and doing the whole like YouTube stuff, man, right? Is that about how long it's been?
Yeah, the Duke game was our first live show of 2020.
Yeah, and I mean, man, like, you know, just like, I mean, you know, I could talk about the game today, but I just got to talk about how awesome what you've created is. I mean, like for me, it's like, like my whole life, like I haven't had like a friend. I mean, I've had friends, Mike. Let's back up a bit. I mean, I've had friends now, but none who have been in Notre Dame. And so it's like, here's this channel on like YouTube, and there's like Mike Singer, and there's like Tim Hyde, the coach, chit-chatting, and, you know, with the dudes and with the studs. And then you go and got Mike Goolsby, who in NCAA 2004, I mean, he was like my favorite defensive player, and I was putting in the Mike Goolsby name, and he was just wrecking shop all over the place. And it's like every weekend during football season, I'm hanging out with my guys,
I love it.
And I mean, like when I saw you were doing these call-in shows, I was like, I just have to just call in to just go and say thank you, man, because like it's a whole like family thing for my whole life with my dad and like Notre Dame and my aunt. And it's like, that's kind of been the crew. But I mean, like, you guys are just really awesome. And like, it's meant a lot to me. I mean, just to watch what you made it today. I mean, like you're doing Roback ads. Give me a break, I mean, like you should just be really proud of what you've done. I mean, like you have been you've like created something that I feel is really special. And so, like I had to just take the opportunity just to call in and just to go and say thank you. I mean, like that's the only reason why I called. I mean, like the game today, was great. But I just wanted to go ahead and thank you for the last 4 years and I mean, going forward. So, I mean, that was why I called.
Well, Skip, I appreciate it, man. Means a lot. Very kind words. It's been a grind, but I've loved it. I love our YouTube channel. It's so much fun. But tell me about your thoughts on the game, man.
Well, no. I mean, there are probably more people who have more. I mean, like more profound thoughts than I about the game. I mean, like that. I mean, that was the main reason why I called. So I mean, I'm going to get off the line now for you to go ahead and talk about the game itself. But I mean, like with other people. But I mean, like that was like the main reason why I called. And I mean, like just have like a great night. And I'm just going to be going ahead to keep watching your shows.
All right, Skip. Thank you so much, man. Call in anytime. All right.
All right, and see you later. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Skip from Maryland. What is Skip's username in here? I saw this from Tom. I forgot to mention it. Platooning QBs is a distinct possibility. I don't know if it's a distinct possibility, but it's not the worst idea because they are so different. They're like complete opposites. All right, going over to 727. You're on the line. Where are you calling from? What's your name?
Hey, Mike. My name is Joe. I'm in Largo, Florida, right down the road from your old stomping grounds. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Larghetto. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know Largo very, very well. What's going on?
Just want to talk about the game a little bit. I'm not as down on Riley Leonard as a lot of people are. I know he has shown a lot in the passing game this year so far, but I'm more of the philosophy that. Well, first of all, I don't know if you had a chance to watch any the post-game interviews after Marcus Freeman, but Jeremiah Love kind of spilled the beans on what happened to Notre Dame last week. He said that they've learned not to take their opponent for granted after last week, which obviously is what happened. You can tell pretty much by the way they played. They took their opponent for granted and they weren't ready to play. But given the fact that Riley Leonard didn't have a spring, I've seen the situation happen a lot in college football where teams suffer a bad early season loss. I remember a few years ago when Ohio State lost to a bad Virginia Tech team at home by a couple touchdowns, went on to win the national championship. I'm not saying Notre Dame is going to go on to win the national championship, but I've seen players improve. And I just think that I have the feeling that Riley Leonard is going to continue to improve through the year. He's going to become more in sync, more in tune with his receivers, because you can tell right now that his first inclination is to take off running.
Yeah.
And I think as he becomes more in tune with he reminds me so much of Ian Book. Ian Book would like take one read and then boom, he would go. And that's what Riley Leonard reminds me of right now. But I just think as the season goes on, he's going to become more in sync and more in tune with his receivers, and his passing is going to get better. And with the defense that they have, there's nobody on their schedule that they can't beat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, USC is a pretty good team, but Louisville might be decent. But beyond that, tell me who they can't beat. You know, there's nobody they can't beat on their schedule, especially if they play the way they did today. So, I mean, there's no reason they can't, run the table coming up to USC at the end of the year and, have one loss, and we'll see what happens in that game.
Yeah.
But I love that defense. That defense is going to keep them in every single game.
Yep.
And, hold their opponents to, a reasonable point total. And there's no reason that with the talent they have, I mean, look what Jeremiah did when they're trying to run the clock out right before halftime. And Jeremiah Love, look what he did. I mean, the guy's got so much talent that he could be a touchdown machine anytime he touches the ball. And, they got so many weapons. You've already talked about Bo Collins and, Thomas and all these guys when Faison gets back. And, I mean, what about Harrison? That was a beautiful catch he made on Angeli's pass. I mean, they just got so many weapons right now. They just got to start using them, getting the ball and let them run. And I kind of like the way Denbrock was calling the game today, trying to do a lot of different things to get guys the ball in open spots so they could use their talent, and take off and run and make big plays.
No doubt.
So I'm more of a glass half full guy, I guess you could say right now. I'm looking at the positive side, and I just see the talent that they have and just everybody getting more in sync, and Denbrock learning to use the talent as the year goes on. Let the defense keep playing the way they are. Let Riley Leonard keep getting in tune with his receivers. With the running backs you have that can, each of them go for 100 yards in any particular game. I'm just really more positive and optimistic, I think, than a lot of people are.
I like it. And Goolsby calls me the eternal optimist. He hasn't in a while, but I just keep bringing it up. I always like to say that before I go pessimistic, just so you guys know. I'm not usually like this, but the Leonard Book comparison, I think I even talked about it earlier today. The difference being the similarities, they both have the happy feet, and they're both good runners. The big difference is Book would take the shot, and Book could throw it deep. Leonard, we don't know if he can't even throw it deep. He threw a beautiful deep ball last week. It just dropped 20 yards short. No,
but if you remember the one to Great House last week, that should have been a catch. It was right in his hands.
True.
Would have won the game if he goes in for a touchdown,
Yeah, that was
even though he hasn't thrown many deep balls, he's capable of it.
Yeah, it was a deep ball.
But,
Or I'm sorry, I don't know how deep of a ball that was. I can't remember, but yeah, it was a nice ball.
That's probably at least 40 yards downfield when he threw it to Great House.
No.
And it was. Take a look at the tape, and he hit him in the hands too. It would have been a touchdown. Yeah. But the thing is, I've seen the situation a lot. I think it's one thing to look at when you see a guy not maybe performing up to his level of capability right now, but when you kind of take a look at the big picture and the talent that is there, and it's a long season, so these guys can develop more chemistry as the year goes on. How many times have you seen a team who loses a couple seasons games early in the year, and by the time bowl season comes, they're one of the best teams in the country because they developed as the year goes on. And I just think that's going to happen to Notre Dame this year.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they're going to win a national championship, but I just think that their offense is going to be a lot more in sync by the end of the year than it is right now.
Yeah, it could be that, but they just can't afford another loss if they want to make the playoff. No. If they want to go to the Pop-Tart Bowl, then lose 4. But...
Right. They put themselves behind the 8 ball, definitely. But like I said, when you look at their schedule, there's definitely nobody there that they can't beat. they're not playing Georgia. They're not playing Texas. They're not playing, anyone else from here till they get to USC.
Yeah.
So that's definitely doable.
You ever been to Skyline Chili?
I have not, actually.
Do you like chili?
Yeah.
All right, then you'll hate this
Love
place.
chili.
You'll hate this place.
But
there's one on
what's
Gulf.
that?
There's one on Gulf to Bay. You got to go you got to go.
Okay.
Do like a couple coney dogs. Ask for the habanero cheese, and let me know what you think. All right.
Yeah, Gulf to Bay is right down the road for me. I'll definitely do that. It's good
Skyline
talking to
Chili.
you, Mike.
All right, you too. Have a good one.
All right, thanks. You too.
No, I'm from that guy's area. I have the same area code. All right, our queue is empty. Mike, call Tyler Horka.
All participants are muted.
Oh, I could just do it like that. I'm learning on the fly here. All right. We're gonna wait for any other calls here. We have an empty queue. There was a question here. Thoughts on Tua? I have the most difficult relationship with Tua. Like, I don't know. I've really struggled of, do I like him as a quarterback or do I not? And he just, dude, and he's so good against the lesser teams. He's so not good in the big spots, especially if it drops below 70 degrees. So that aside, like the injury, like, okay, that's just my thoughts on him as a quarterback, as obviously a Dolphins fan. But the concussions, bro, you gotta hang it. I think he has to hang it up. I'm not a doctor. I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, but otherwise, like, the guy's gotta hang it up. Riley Leonard was excellent today. People were crazy. I mean, he was excellent in a vacuum. But when you think about Notre Dame and what their season has looked like offensively so far, that is not sustainable. Work against Purdue. Gosh, Purdue was bad. Yeah, he was excellent today, Brian. But, oof, man. Now, Louisville has played no one. They played Austin P. I've never known how to pronounce that. 62-0, and then Jackson State they beat. Oh, man, that lecture mode is beautiful. All right, let's see if this works. We got a caller. All right, 901, you're on the line. Where are you calling from? What's your name?
Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, all right. What's your name?
Joseph Kessler.
Justin, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Not much. I just want to say I love the Irish. I'm through and through. I don't care if we win, as long as we win USC. Yeah, I'm a little drunk, hyped on the victory. I love Mike Singer. I love Tim Hyde. I love Mike Goolsby. All y'all, I love y'all.
Mute the stream, bro.
I just want to say, go Irish. USC sucks. Michigan swallows. I'm out.
Like, oh, it gave me his last name too. Oh my god. That guy was awesome. I've been to Memphis once. It was to see one of Notre Dame's best all-time recruits, Caleb Offord. such a nice kid, great family, just transferred really quick. Some of the best food, Memphis. I had, and this was 5 years ago. I went that trip September 2019, 5 years ago. Some of the best Mexican food I've ever had. And then barbecue. Big Memphis barbecue guy. I haven't been to Memphis since. It was so weird for me because it's like on the corner. Memphis located on the corner of Tennessee, Arkansas, and Mississippi. So Caleb Offord was Notre Dame's first Brian Kelly Mississippi recruit. But he was like, I mean, South Haven was really just a Memphis suburb. So, Andy Hoodles. 615. Wait, why is this not? Oh, that's beautiful. I figured out how to just do something great on my end. So we're going to 615. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Scott in Nashville, Tennessee.
There's another place I like, man. We'll talk about Nashville in a second. But Scott, what's on your mind, brother?
Yeah. I just, man, I don't think Riley's completed a pass of over 20 yards that he actually has thrown over 20 yards all year. And I mean, look, the kid is a great runner, but when we play better teams, they're going to stack the box, shut down the run, and we might be in trouble. I think Louisville's capable of doing that. Definitely USC. I'm sure there's probably a couple others along the way, and you know, it worked for Northern Illinois. I mean, look, man, I'm as big Notre Dame fan as anybody else. I hope that he can overcome this, but I just don't know if he can.
So what do you want them to do?
I don't know. You better make sure Angeli's ready.
So do you think you just keep running him until he gets hurt and then just play Angeli?
Well, that might be what happens. I think that what they need to do is the next game coming up, you know, once we get a little bit of a lead, hopefully we can jump out quick like we did today and say, okay, you know, we're going to pass the ball 3 downs and run it 1 and make him pass the ball and complete passes to get ready for Louisville. What are your thoughts?
So many. What'd you say your name was again?
Scott.
Scott. It's like a caller ID thing, so I can like edit your name, set name.
Oh, cool.
So next time you call in, I'll say, "Hey, Scott, what's going on?" My thoughts.
Hey, but
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead and let me know, and then I've got a question for you. Go ahead.
You still roll with Riley.
Okay.
And he's either on a short leash to play Steve if they do stop the run, but like him running the ball, it's just dynamic. So if they can continue to do that with success, and he stays healthy, hopefully they can take some shots. That would be ideal. Now I'm thinking back to that A&M game, Scott. Remember when it was like, oh, the game plan wasn't to take shots because you have this young defensive line, or excuse me, this young offensive line. They're not going to be able to hold up in time for a receiver to get downfield for Riley to take a shot. That was a bunch of crap in hindsight, right? Riley just can't do it, I guess, right? I mean, so, man, what a just a weird offense. Weird offense. No identity. Well, I mean, unless the Purdue, what we saw, just three-headed monster at running back, and that includes Riley, and then dink and dunk. Maybe that's the
Well,
offense.
you can see what I mean. If and maybe it's just a matter of him being rusty. He didn't, he was hurt. He didn't have a lot of spring ball, and he really didn't have a lot of time to gel with everybody. And it might take a little time, but the guy can run like a deer. I mean, he just had some amazing runs today.
Yeah.
And it, we all need to be on our knees praying, because if he can click on the passing game, I mean, we'll have something to be excited about, like we did today with a lot of these young players. Man, I was impressed.
Just makes me nervous, though, when I listen to Jack Sobel, Blue and Gold, talk about, like, yeah, this is what we saw from Riley at Duke. And I'm like, so we're not going to see some new tool in his tool belt? Makes me nervous. Which young guys did you really like today, Scott?
Oh, Urlacher was impressive. What's the
Bryce Young?
Man, what's his name? Young, and the defensive end.
Boubacar
had the interception.
Yeah, Boubacar Traore.
Man,
Yep.
Fantastic. So what's going on with the defensive end we got from Duke? Is he even playing now?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
RJ Oben, he's playing. Just not playing that well.
Yeah, you didn't hear him at all today.
Just no pass rush moves, just kind of engages, and that's it. It's disappointing so far. I will tell you, in the video game, he's incredible, but not so far actually on the field.
Hey, are you going to be at the game next week?
No. I won't be able to make any games this year because I'm not local, and I have a pregnant wife who we are almost 37 weeks on Tuesday.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, I can't go anywhere. The farthest I can go is like an hour.
What state do you live in?
Georgia.
Oh, really? Wow, you're not too far from us. I'd always thought you were up in Indiana for some reason.
No, it's a very fair thing, but the job I do is obviously run the YouTube channel, which you can do from anywhere, and then I cover recruiting.
Sure.
So it's a travel job. So going to camps in the off season, go to high school camps on Friday nights. So if I lived in South Bend, it would be a lot of driving, and it just wouldn't, difficult flights. This wouldn't make a lot of sense. So,
speaking of Georgia, look what happened to them tonight. They almost lost.
They sure did. Nashville. Okay.
Yeah.
I love Nashville. I go to Nashville a lot. I was just there in May.
Wow.
Actually, I think I've been to Nashville 2 or 3 times this year alone. We had an On3 event there. I was there twice in May. On3 event, and then with my family. I went to the Atlanta United Nashville SC game, which was awesome.
Yeah, that's a great stadium.
Geodis is, it's very neat. The cicadas, dude.
Geodis, yeah.
How often do you guys have those damn cicadas?
Oh, not, I don't know, probably, it seems like they're every 7 years, but this was a wild batch. Now, I moved out here back in 1996 from out west. Well, I'm originally from Mishawaka, Indiana, and when I was a kid, my dad transferred out to Idaho, so I grew up out there. I ended up in my early 20s moving to Nashville, and they were out when I first moved to Nashville, and it was probably the worst I'd ever seen them. And you'd be driving down the freeway with your no, back when I first moved here, there were parts of town that you drive through and there were so many of them, you'd be in your car with your radio on, and they'd almost drowned out your radio. I thought I'd made the biggest mistake of my life moving out here at the time.
Dude, I was just shell shocked when I was there in May. I'm guessing May is pretty busy time for those suckers.
Well, they're not every year, and then this particular time, it was like 3 different batches of cicadas, which happens, I think they said, I don't know, maybe every 60 years or something. It was a weird time for them.
Did you say 6 years?
Yeah, they were pretty. No, I think every 60 years, where there's like multiple broods of them. There were like 3 different species.
Wow.
That were out at the same time. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, they're not fun.
No. Scott, appreciate
they're as pesky as those old SEC fans.
Scott, appreciate the call, man.
All right, have a good night, bro.
Yeah, you too. Nashville it's awesome, man. You got to go with people who like to party. Brian, good night, man. You have to go with people who party, though. And you got to have like a group of 4, at least a group of 4, that everyone's kind of on the same page. Hey, we're doing it big. Go down Broadway. Have a good time. I had 2 favorite spots in Nashville. One was you go down Broadway towards the Titan Stadium, and you make a left where the Taco Bell is. There's a place across the street from Taco Bell that was so cool. It was like a line dancing. Oh, man, it's such a good time there. Closed down. And then the other spot closed down too. Yeah, I was going to say we couldn't remember the name. We finally found it, and it closed down too. But Taco Bell, Cantina. Love it. Love it. All right. We're going to Mr. Dynasty ISP.
Hey, Mr. Singer.
Mr. Dynasty ISP. The man who always asks, hey, are we having a post-game Sweaty Mike TV stream on Twitch?
I mean, it's only 9:30 in California right now, so it's still pretty early.
Let me ask you real quick. I mean, I've only been to California like 2 or 3 times in my life. So I haven't, although I lived in Seattle when I was like 5 years old for like a year or 2. Like being on the West Coast time zone, it has to be so interesting. I think about it all the time. It's like my Roman Empire, as the kids say. I just think about it. Your Monday night football sometimes starts at like 4:00.
Yeah.
What is it like as a sports fan in the Pacific time zone?
It's amazing because everything happens earlier, and Pac-12 after dark when it's 11:00 at night, instead of 2 a.m. It's really enjoyable.
How old are you, Jacob? How old are you?
I am 42 years old.
Kids?
Yeah, 2 kids, 2 boys.
Married?
Teenagers. Yeah.
Okay.
Teenage boys.
So that makes sense, right? If you're a guy in his 20s and you want that 2 a.m. But I get it. You're in your 40s, father too. You want it to be done early. I get that. Okay, continue on.
Yeah. Okay. I was calling in, I've been watching some Notre Dame football last couple of weeks.
I bet.
Glad to get a win. So, yeah, my thought on all this is that I think in week 2, Freeman really tried to get the passing game going. I think he was trying to appease Deuce Knight, showing that they can, get a passing game going. And after that loss to NIU, they realized this isn't what they have, and they made the adjustments.
Jacob, right? Yeah, they're not game planning for Deuce night. I hope they're not. There ain't no way.
I think they were game planning on offense. I think they were game planning for the future. I think they were trying to impress some wide receiver recruits. They were trying to impress some quarterback recruits. I definitely feel that way.
They just need to win, dog. That's what's impressive.
Yeah, if the running back team got 10 more carries last week, we win the game. I don't care what the play was. If they got 10 more carries, we win the game.
Yeah,
no one will convince me otherwise. So, but I think Freeman realizes what he has, and I think then Brock realizes what they have, and they're just going to run with it. And I honestly see them getting to USC without another loss, and depending how beat up USC is, they may get a win. I'll definitely be at that USC Notre Dame game.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll even let you pick my dinner, whether I get In-N-Out or maybe King Taco, maybe Tommy's. I'll let you make that call for me.
Where you're from LA in that area?
Yeah, I'm on the outskirts of Los Angeles. Yeah.
Yeah, I did LA once. I did a rivals camp at a community college, and I just remember, I mean, this was like 2 weeks before COVID. So,
oh wow,
4 years ago. So I'm 27, and direct flight from Atlanta to LA. So I landed like 9 a.m. 27, a lot more energy now at 31. And I just remember getting off that plane, getting in my rental car, driving down to Manhattan Beach, and walked a little bit on Manhattan Beach. That was cool. And then I went and got some Mexican food. Enchiladas were killer. And then I saw Tyler Buckner the next morning. He was incredible that day. Tyler Buckner was he was badass. This was going into his junior season, where he went. Was it going into his junior season? 2020 summer of 20.
I don't think he played in the senior season, right?
Yeah, so I guess it must have been going into his junior season. It would have been sophomore. So yeah, going into his junior season, which was the incredible year for him, the 81 touchdown year. This is the wrong way. Hold on, I'm trying to adjust my camera. Man, what could have been? I think Miller Moss was at that camp too, and I remember loving Miller Moss. I saw Miller Moss a lot because I went to a lot of events to see Buckner. Miller Moss, kid's good. Mike went ham on the
Buckner was a pretty highly coveted recruit. I remember that. They were really going after him.
I really think that it fell apart for Buckner, in my humble opinion, when he changed quarterback trainers. I think he just lost zip. It just did not work. I don't know what they did, if they were trying to quicken his release or something. Buckner still on team. I don't even think he's fifth string. He's not. He is the first string signal caller guy, to call him plays. That's what he's first string at. But what were we even talking about?
I'm going to call it right now. All right, call it. At the end of this year, Leonard, tries to go to the NFL. Angeli transfers out to go be a starter somewhere else. Minchie and Carr fight for a starting position. Notre Dame gets Deuce, and then Buckner's QB number 4 because they need 4 quarterbacks on the team.
I mean, I guess you said, but Buckner's gonna be 4th string.
Yeah,
I do.
I think way Angeli stays. No way.
Buckner's
he's not going to start next year.
Buckner's just happy to be there. Okay, so tell me who your first 3 guys are then.
Minchie and Carr fight for the first spot, and then the 3rd quarterback is Deuce Knight, and then the 4th one is Buckner, and that allows Freeman to not take another transfer. Or if he does, he takes an average transfer. He doesn't go after a big star.
You've been listening to me, huh? You know that's my take.
I mean, I catch you, twice a week on Twitch, and you kind of give a little bit of insight as Coach Hyde. I know you're gambling on games and stuff like that as Coach Hyde, and out hanging out with the players, but you still got some good insight.
I hope to do it twice a week. It's difficult to find time, especially when I'm enjoying doing this now. It's only like the second time we've done this call-in show. Yeah, the Angeli thing for next year is really interesting, Jacob, because what has he promised? Has he just promised a competition? Because if he promised a competition, that's going into the fall. So you're either like, nah, screw that, I'm not risking it, or you compete, but you don't know if it really is an open competition or if it's not. Like, are they just like telling me that because they would love to keep me for another season? Freaking Steve Angeli. He's an incredible backup quarterback if you can have him as your number 2. But I'd be pissed if I stayed to compete, thought I could win, and then I don't. And then when are you going to leave? You're going to leave like August 13th? Where are you going to go? You probably can't, right? The portal windows or whatever. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think Steve's a great guy. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, when Nana transferred out, Freeman had went to him and said, hey, we're not keeping you. And I think Freeman's a pretty stand-up guy. I think Freeman has that conversation with Angeli, tells him that he has a chance.
Wait. You think that he'll tell Steve to go?
What's that?
You think he'll tell Steve to go?
I think he'll advise him to go. I don't think he'll flat out tell him to go, but I think he'll tell him that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. That's interesting. I didn't thought about that because I would think that they would just want to keep him. But if you do have Angeli and Carr and Minchie, maybe you don't. But I don't know. I feel like they'd want Steve. But the big X factor for this whole discussion is if Steve plays this year. I've been talking about this for so long. Like if Steve looks really, really good, then he might just force their hand and be like, all right, like if Riley, knock on wood, goes down, they got to start Steve for a couple games, few games, whatever. He balls out, might just kind of force their hand. Or maybe it forces other schools' hand to pony up and come get Steve in the portal. I don't know. We'll see.
I think after today's game, a lot of defenses are going to play pretty close coverage, play up pretty close, and they're going to force Leonard to throw the ball. And I think that's going to make Leonard run more, and it's going to put his body at risk. I wouldn't be surprised if Angeli started maybe one game, maybe 2 games. I wouldn't wish harm on anybody, but the way that Leonard was running today, he was definitely putting his body at risk.
Over under 1.5. Steve Angeli starts this year.
Yeah, I hate betting. I think they don't. I can't see them playing any tough defenses. Like I think Texas A&M was the toughest defense. I go under. I see Leonard getting injured, but I don't see anything serious. But what do they call it? Bumps and bruises?
Yeah. Well, NIU was supposed to be a tough defense. We know how that went.
You know what? NIU, if Freeman just didn't drink that Kool-Aid, man, and realize that, hey, after game 1, I'm already locked for the playoffs. I think if Freeman would have kept his head on straight, I think Notre Dame wins that game. Not impressive, but I think Notre Dame wins that game maybe by 10 points.
Jacob, thanks for calling, man. It's good talking to you.
Thanks, man. Bye.
That is, I do a Twitch stream for fun. I play video games, and he's been one of my long time viewers. So Dynasty, appreciate you. Drop your Prime sub on me. All right. That's it. That was fun. Hour 19. So we'll be live with Goolsby tomorrow night. I don't know when the next time I'll do one of these is. Kind of just sporadically. Late nights past 11. Maybe here and there in like an afternoon if I'm feeling it. But commenter says no more video games after your kid's born. I know. Probably no more No more of impromptu shows either like this. Guys, hit the thumbs up on this, of course. Subscribe to the channel. Look, I mean, it's 12:36. I should be sleeping or doing other work, but I just have so much fun doing this and talking to you guys. And yeah, so please hit the thumbs up. And that really helps us. At Blue and Gold, it helps us way more than you. So please do that. Anytime you're able to drop super chats, that helps the channel. So definitely consider doing that. But if you can't super chat, that's obviously fine. Just please hit the thumbs up. Tell a friend about us. And yeah, we will be back tomorrow night. Me and Goolsby. Appreciate you guys. Catch you later.